I moved into my new house 3 weeks ago, and at first it felt like any other move. The stress of unpacking, the weird empty echo in the halls before the furniture was in place, the occasional creaks in the night, nothing unusual. Then I noticed the holes, tiny imperfections in the walls, barely the width of a pencil tip. At first, I thought they were just the kind of little defects you find in any house. Old nail holes, maybe, settling cracks. But something about them bothered me. They weren't random. They were always at eye level. One in the hallway, another in the corner of the kitchen, one just above the light switch in my bedroom. I ran my fingers over them, perfectly smooth, as if they had never been drilled or punctured, just formed. I even mentioned them to the home inspector before I signed the lease. "Oh, don't worry, all houses have them," he said, brushing me off like I'd asked about a creaky floorboard. That was the first time I felt that strange twisting sensation in my stomach, like everyone knew something I didn't. A week later, I caught something strange out of the corner of my eye. I was brushing my teeth, staring at my reflection, when I noticed the hole above the bathroom sink. For the first time, I leaned in close, so close my breath made the wall feel warm. And inside the hole, there was something wet. I flinched back. My mind tried to rationalize it. Maybe it was just condensation, or a dark shadow, or... Then it moved. I stood frozen, heart hammering, as I watched the faintest shimmer of motion inside the tiny hole. It was subtle, but unmistakable. A slow, deliberate blink. There was an eye in the wall. I stumbled back so fast I nearly knocked over the towel rack. My brain fought against what I'd just seen, because it didn't make sense. There was no space inside that wall, no gap, no hidden crawl space, just insulation and drywall. I grabbed my phone, turned on the flashlight, and aimed it into the hole. The light swallowed the darkness, showing nothing but a void. Empty. But when I turned the light off, the eye was still there. I barely slept that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I pictured that wet, watching thing inside my wall. The next morning, I called my landlord. "Hey, I think there's something weird with the walls in this house," I said, trying to keep my voice casual. "Like, I don't know, maybe an animal got stuck in there?" There was a pause. A long one. Then he laughed. Not like he thought I was crazy. More like I had just said something stupid. "Oh, that? Yeah, don't worry. All houses have them." The exact same words as the home inspector. My stomach twisted. "What do you mean?" "Nothing to worry about," he said. "Just leave them alone. They're not a problem unless you make them one." Then he hung up. My skin went cold. He hadn't asked what I was talking about. He already knew. They moved. That night, I couldn't stop staring at the hole in the bathroom. The tiny, perfect circle where I had seen it blink. I swear I hadn't touched it. I hadn't even gone near it. But now, it was gone. Not filled in, not patched. Gone. Instead, there was a new hole, just beside the bathroom mirror, slightly closer to where I stood every morning. I swallowed hard. My skin crawled with a deep, nauseating sense that I wasn't alone. I turned slowly, scanning the room, and that's when I saw another one, just outside the bathroom door, on the hallway wall, and another, all at eye level, all watching. I didn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I felt watched. Not the vague, paranoid kind of watched, but a precise and intimate awareness of my every movement, like something was learning me. I tried to tell myself it was in my head, that I was overreacting, that it was just stress from the move. But the holes had moved, and they were multiplying. I made a plan. I would prove to myself that nothing was happening. I grabbed a roll of painter's tape and covered each hole I could find. The ones in the bathroom, the hallway, the bedroom. I marked them with tiny red X's so I'd know if they reappeared. Then I went to bed. I woke up to the feeling of something brushing against my cheek. My body locked up. I barely breathed. It was the kind of fear that makes you pretend to be asleep, like whatever is near you won't realize you're awake if you don't move. Then, slowly, I opened my eyes, and I saw it. A hole, right in the wall beside my bed, at eye level. The tape was gone. No, not just gone, replaced. The tiny red X was still there, but now it was on the opposite wall, as if the hole had shifted overnight. I sat up fast, heart pounding, and scanned the room. The other holes were back too. One on the ceiling, one inside my closet door, one at the foot of my bed. I tried not to look too long. I was afraid that if I stared, I'd see something staring back. I needed proof. The next night, I set up my phone, propped against a stack of books, aimed at the hole in my bedroom. I hit record and forced myself to sleep. Morning came slow, heavy with dread. I reached for my phone, my fingers shaking as I pressed play. The video started off normal, just my quiet bedroom, dimly lit by the streetlight outside. Nothing moved, nothing happened. Then, at 3:12 a.m., the screen glitched, just for a second. Then again. Each time, something was different. The hole moved, not in a jerky, stop-motion kind of way. One frame, it was on the left wall. The next, it was on the right. Jump. Now it was on the ceiling. Jump. Now it was right beside my sleeping face. I nearly dropped my phone. My breath came out ragged. I scrubbed through the footage again, but the same thing happened every time. I had been asleep while the hole traveled around my room. Or worse, while it watched me. I was done. I called my landlord again, but this time he didn't answer. Straight to voicemail. I tried texting. Nothing. Fine. I'd just start packing. I didn't care about the lease. I'd eat the cost. I just needed out. As I grabbed an empty box, I heard it. A whisper. So faint, I almost thought I imagined it. I turned, pulse hammering in my ears. My apartment was silent, empty, but my gut told me I wasn't alone. I stepped closer to the bedroom wall. The new hole was there. Tiny. Perfect. I hesitated. Then, against every instinct screaming at me to stop, I leaned in, just close enough to hear. A breath. Shallow. Too close. Then a whisper, dry and rasping, curling through the hole like smoke. I see you. I stumbled backward so fast I tripped over my own feet, slamming into the dresser. My phone clattered to the floor. My pulse thundered in my ears. I stared at the hole, waiting for something to come through. Nothing did. But as I watched, it got bigger. Not all at once, just a fraction of an inch, like a pupil dilating, like it was adjusting, like it was learning to see me better. I should have left. I should have walked out with nothing but the clothes on my back, set fire to the lease, and never looked back. But I didn't, because part of me still believed I could fight this, that I could understand it, that I could win. I was wrong. I don't think I ever really had a choice. By the next morning, the holes weren't just in my walls. They were everywhere. I found one inside my kitchen cabinet, hidden behind the spice rack, one under my nightstand, like something had been watching me sleep from the floor, one beneath the bathroom sink, staring up from the drain. And the worst one, inside the fridge. When I reached for the milk, I noticed a small black dot on the plastic container. I squinted, confused. The surface wasn't damaged. It wasn't dirt. It was smooth, deliberate. I brought it closer to my face, and then it moved. A tiny, wet blink. I threw the milk so hard it slammed against the wall, exploding across the floor. My breath came in short gasps. My mind couldn't hold on to a single rational thought. They weren't just in the house. They were in my things. The whispering started that night. Not words, sounds, rustling, dry breathing, the kind of noises your ears strain to hear when you're alone in the dark. I locked myself in my bedroom, but it didn't matter. The eyes were already inside. The one in the wall was bigger now. I don't know how I hadn't noticed it before. Maybe it had stretched when I wasn't looking. I sat on my bed, staring at it, heart hammering. I swear I could feel it staring back. And then I felt it again. The irresistible pull. Not physical. Deeper than that. A compulsion. Like something inside my own body was begging me to lean in. I clenched my fists. My fingernails dug into my palms. Don't give in. But my body had already started moving. I leaned forward. I don't remember deciding to do it. I just did. I bent closer, until my face was inches from the hole. And I saw it. Not just an eye. Not anymore. A face. Sunken, rotting, pressed against the other side of the wall. The skin was too dark, too stretched, like it had been left in water too long. Its mouth hung open, grinning. And then it opened its eyes. Not two, not even three. Dozens, packed together like clusters of eggs, crammed into every inch of skin, staring, learning, remembering me. I tried to move. I tried to pull back, but my body wouldn't obey. Something was wrong with my hands, my fingers, my arms. I looked down and saw holes in my own skin, tiny dark pinpricks lining my forearms, like something had burrowed inside me while I slept. Something was watching me from beneath my own flesh. I don't remember screaming. I don't remember how I finally got away from the wall. I just remember waking up on the floor, the sun rising outside my window. The hole was gone, but now, when I blink, I swear, I can see through more than two eyes. I'm not alone in my body anymore. I see things I shouldn't see, things I've never seen before, but somehow remember. The holes in the walls are gone, but that doesn't mean they aren't still there, because now I don't have to look at them to see through them. It started the morning after I saw the thing in the wall. I woke up on the floor, head pounding, the taste of iron thick in my mouth. The house was too quiet, like it was holding its breath. I blinked, rubbing my eyes, and that's when it happened. For a split second, I wasn't seeing through my own eyes. I was seeing from the ceiling, like my vision had jumped, like I was looking down at myself from above. I recoiled, clutching my head. What the hell was that? But the moment I tried to rationalize it, it happened again. I saw through the floorboards, a dark, crawling space beneath me. Not empty, not anymore. Something pressed against the wood, curled and waiting, watching. And worst of all, it saw through me too. I ran. I didn't pack a bag. I didn't grab my phone. I just ran. But the moment I stepped outside, I knew I was still inside, because the street looked wrong. Not at first, not in an obvious way, but I could feel it. Too still, too perfect. The wind didn't move right. The sky looked painted on. And then I saw the house across the street. The windows, each one had a single hole at eye level. And inside, something stared back. Not from the house, from inside me. Because when I turned my head, my vision didn't turn with it. It stayed locked in that unnatural place, looking at myself from the outside, like I was nothing more than another set of eyes. Like I had never really left the house, because I never had. I don't know how long I stood there, trapped in that impossible moment, but eventually I moved. Somehow I made it back inside, or maybe I'd never been outside at all. I found my phone, hands shaking, and searched for anything about the house's history. There was barely any information, no police reports, no tragic deaths, just a series of former tenants, each one moving out within months. Except for one, a woman who had lived here for years. No forwarding address, no obituary, just one last recorded statement in an online forum from 10 years ago. A single, desperate message. I read it once, then again, because I already knew what it was going to say. If you've seen them, it's already too late. I don't know how long I sat there, staring at the screen. The message burned into my mind. If you've seen them, it's already too late. I wanted to leave. I wanted to run. But I knew the truth now. There was no outside, no leaving, because I was never supposed to see. I don't remember falling asleep, but I woke up somewhere else. Not in my bed, not on the floor, somewhere deeper. The walls weren't walls anymore. They pulsed, stretched, shifted like living skin. And the holes, there were thousands now, packed so tightly together they weren't even holes anymore. Just endless black eyes, all staring at me. I felt something press against my back. Not a hand, not anything human. Something flat, wet, and full of weight. I turned, slowly, because some part of me already knew what I was about to see. It was me, not a reflection, not a doppelganger, a flattened version of myself, pressed into the wall like a dried flower in a book. My face was stretched thin, the skin pale and translucent, like it had been stretched too many times before. And where my eyes should have been, just holes. Two empty sockets, blinking open and closed, searching, looking for someone else to wear. I tried to scream, but the sound didn't come out right, because it was already inside my throat. Not physically, not something I could pull out, but the weight of being seen, the knowing that I had already been memorized, absorbed, recorded, that I had never been a tenant here. I was just another set of eyes to be added to the walls. And worse than anything, I could already feel the next person moving in. I woke up, in my bed, morning light slanting through the blinds. The house was quiet, normal. The walls were smooth, no holes, no eyes, no proof that any of it had ever happened. I sat up, body heavy. My limbs felt wrong, like something had settled into them overnight, like something had practiced being me. My phone buzzed. A notification from the real estate app. Your home has been listed for sale. I stared at the screen, a deep sickness curling inside me. I hadn't listed my home. I hadn't even tried to leave yet, but the house already knew I would, because it was done with me, because now I was part of it. As I got out of bed, I caught my reflection in the mirror. I got up and stared at myself, just standing there for the longest time. As I turned away from the mirror, I felt something shift behind my eyes. Not a twitch, not a blink, just a quiet, deliberate adjustment, like something inside me was getting comfortable.